I have hard days. Don't get me wrong. There's some hard ass days. Oof, I'm talking hard days.
And so mentally and emotionally, you have to be able to accept the fact that you're not going to be as amazing as you once were while taking PEDs. Coach Greg, and in today's video, life after steroids. What is it like to finally stop steroids after years of abuse? What comes up must come down, and anyone who's been involved in competitive bodybuilding who's used or abused PEDs eventually has to come off. We've all seen so many bodybuilders, fitness models, and so on who have passed away way too early because of their abuse of anabolics. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over what it's like for IFBB Pro, Mr. Tell It Like It Is, Jonni Shreve, who's come off steroids, and guess what? Cold turkey. Never even used a PCT. What is it like mentally, physically, spiritually, socially? Everything. We're going to get right into it. And full disclosure, Jonni is on nothing. No PEDs whatsoever, including HRT. He's not on a low dose doctor prescribed anything. He's on nothing. All he's taking is natural products such as creatine, turkesterone, stuff that you can get over the counter. No banned substances, no PEDs whatsoever. And it's been about 4.5 months he's been taking nothing, which is about 18 weeks. And you might be wondering why. Why would he stop? He has a daughter, and have you seen what's been going on in the fitness industry as of late? He wants to be here for his family. He wants to live a long and healthy life. Obviously, using and abusing PEDs is going to shorten or at least reduce your chance of living a long and healthy life. And so he said, enough is enough. I'm stopping the PEDs. I'm not competing in professional bodybuilding competitions anymore, at least none that involve PEDs. And so when you do this, you need to reprioritize everything. Your entire life revolved around how you looked and getting bigger, getting stronger, improving, being the biggest guy in the room. When you stop PEDs, you're obviously going to lose some muscle. You're not going to be as big. You're not going to have as much energy. You're not going to be able to keep growing. That places a toll on the mind. It's hard to go from seeing yourself as that larger than life character to someone more normal. I myself went from taking and abusing PEDs to just doing HRT, and I had to accept the fact that I'm going to have 10, 20 pounds less muscle than I normally had. But what you do is you change your goals. So what is his new goal? Well, rather than becoming the best IFBB Pro in the world, the goal is now to be healthy.
Number one, my goal is health.
And so with a new goal comes new enjoyment to reach that goal. He once wanted to be a professional football player, never got that goal, switched to being a professional bodybuilder. He made that goal. And now it's a new part of his life, a new chapter. His goal is to be healthy. And what is it to be healthy? Well, he defined it in several ways, but we want to be healthy mentally, physically, spiritually, and socially. And so let's begin by focusing on the physical component.
I want to be a transformation king.
He defined it as having cardiovascular endurance, muscular endurance, mobility, being like an athlete. When I was in grade 9 and moving up through high school, every year the phys ed teacher ingrained this on us. He said there's 5 health-related fitness components. I would summarize Jonni's goals as improving those 5 health-related fitness components. They're as follows: cardiovascular endurance, muscular endurance, strength, body composition, and flexibility. If you can get all 5 of those to a higher level, then your physicality is exactly where you want it to be. And so what do each of these mean? Well, cardiovascular endurance, you can go for a jog, play some basketball, hockey, go for a swim, hike, do whatever you want. You're not prevented from doing things because you simply don't have the stamina to do them. Body composition, well, you're lean, you're in shape. Perhaps 15% body fat for men, 25% for women. You don't have excess body fat that's going to prevent you from living a long and healthy life. Muscular endurance, you could, for example, go and shovel a driveway. You're able to lift somewhat heavy objects for a repeated amount of time, similar to cardiovascular endurance, but with more strength involved. And strength, everyone knows what that is. For example, picking up 2 50-pound luggage bags up a flight of stairs. You have the strength to do what you need to do when you need to do it. And flexibility, well, you can bend over and touch your toes, and you're not going to pull a hamstring every time you go and play a sport. Jonni's playing flag football, archery, learning to race motorcycles, doing backflips, being an athlete, able to move his body through space and enjoy exploring the world and not being limited by his physicality. In comparison, you ever seen a 300-pound bodybuilder? What can they do? Not much. Perhaps they can do a little bit of walking. Can they even wipe their ass? They have so much muscle, but what can they do with it other than show you a front double bicep in a most muscular pose? And yes, it's cool and they look cool, but can they in fact use their bodies in a practical way, in a practical sense, to have fun on this planet? Jonni's still training a push-pull leg split, training with weights 6 times a week, not training as hard as heavy as he used to, not using ego lifting. He left the heavy weights at the door. He's training more for practicality to be able to use the muscles effectively and efficiently. He's also doing yoga twice a week to stay flexible. An excellent mix of training with weights and cardio to be overall as fit as possibly can be, to perfect those 5 health-related fitness components. And what's his diet like? Well, right now he's practicing intermittent fasting. He's eating about 2,800 to 3,000 calories a day. And you're thinking,
No way, he must eat more than that. Look at the size of him.
2,800 to 3,000 calories. Why would be so honest about what he's taking to lie to you about what he's eating? He's eating under 3,000 calories a day. He's over 230 pounds of muscle. Notice, he's not bulking, he's not cutting. He's just trying to maintain, keep his body fat at a healthy range, have healthy body composition, and slowly improve his physique. And improving your physique doesn't always mean to get bigger. It can mean to get better. Certain muscles might need to get smaller to allow him to have the flexibility to do what he wants, but allow him to have more endurance. The guy's doing backflips. He weighs over 230 pounds. And so he clearly knows what he's doing. He's been coaching people for a number of years. And so in the 4.5 months since he stopped taking PDs, has his strength remained the same? No, of course it's not. What once could do 315 for 10, now 275 for 10, perhaps even less. And does it matter? No.
It doesn't matter.
Even The Rock knows it doesn't matter, because what matters is he's being healthy. He's improving his health. Health is the number one goal. Not to just lift more weights, but to be healthier.
What about your hormones, Jonni? Well, honestly, let's say I wasn't as horny, turned on, whatever you want to call it, for a bit. And then that came back, like slowly.
He had very low sex drive for the first 3 months, never wanted to have sex that often. That is normal. He never even did a PCT, and what do I think of that? Well, personally, I think he should have done a PCT. But remember, he was on very low doses. He wasn't doing 1,000 milligrams as most people expect. Doing 150 milligrams, just doing low doses, didn't want to abuse PDs. He was trying to downsize to compete in the 212 division. Used to compete, tried to be 230 or more. So in trying to lose muscle, he couldn't take the high doses. So for him, he didn't feel he needed a PCT because he was used to using low doses. But remember, he had abused PDs and in the past had used some higher doses. Did this for 10 years, and so my personal opinion would have benefited from a PCT, but hey, he didn't want to do it. It's up to him on whether he wants to do it or not. And how did he feel? Well, being perfectly honest, he said, some days I feel beat up. I don't always feel good. He's not going to recover as fast. He's not going to have as much energy. He's just not going to feel as good as he used to when he was natural. But it's been 4.5 months and his sex drive is starting to come back. Means that his body is starting to produce testosterone on its own. He hasn't got blood work done, but he feels that if he got his blood work done, he'd probably be somewhere in the normal range. It might take a year, maybe 2 years, to go back to where it once was, and maybe it never will be that high again. He is in his late 30s, and it's harder to have high testosterone in your late 30s than in your early 20s.
I have hard days. Don't get me wrong. There's some hard ass days. Oof, I'm fucking hard days.
And so mentally and emotionally, you have to be able to accept the fact that you're not going to be as amazing as you once were while taking PDs. For me, I went from taking abusive cycles to doing HRT. It's kind of a happy medium. Not saying everyone should go cold turkey and stop taking everything. Perhaps Jonni be better on HRT. We don't know. That's up to him and his own doctor. If he has normal testosterone levels without taking testosterone, why would he take HRT? Doesn't need it. If he goes to the doctor, gets blood work done, and it shows very low testosterone levels, then perhaps his doctor will decide to prescribe him HRT. If not, then he doesn't need it. He's not going to jump on HRT just because he knows he could get more gains. His priority is to be healthy. And you may be wondering, what would happen if I went off HRT? Remember, I'm on 140 milligrams a week. Well, I'll tell you what happened because I did. I went off HRT for 9 weeks. Remember, had that tricep problem, tricep tendinopathy. Sports doctor said go off. Didn't understand.
Oh, Greg's lying, blah, blah, blah.
Went off everything. I felt shitty. Didn't have as much energy, didn't have as much joie de vie. I didn't feel as energetic, didn't have the stamina, didn't have as much of a sex drive, didn't like it. Perhaps if I stayed off HRT for many, many months, it would return to normal. Didn't want to do that. I preferred HRT. That is for me. I'm also significantly older than Jonni. I'm 46 years of age. My doctor thinks that dose is appropriate for me. We look at my blood work multiple times a year, and it's deemed safe for me. Doesn't mean it's safe for you. On top of that, I'm taking terkesterone, and I've recently added a new supplement. It's not available yet. I'm calling it GO2 Max. Kind of like VO2 Max, helps with endurance. Very similar, in my own estimation, to GW, which is a banned PD. Get into that later. That is what I'm doing. I feel absolutely amazing. The best I felt in years. Better than when I was on PDs. Not bigger, better. There's a difference between size, having the most amount of muscle, and being healthy. When I was on abusive doses of PDs, I had a lot more muscle and I was a lot stronger. But if you look at the 5 health-related fitness components, I was lacking in other areas. I didn't have the cardiovascular endurance that I have now. And if you looked at my blood work, certainly wasn't as healthy as now. I now do cardio more than I lift weights. I feel I have balance. Do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. I still enjoy health and fitness just as much as before. It's just spread out in different ways. Before, it was all about how do I lift the most amount of weight and have the biggest muscles possible. Now it's about having some muscles being aesthetic, but also having the cardiovascular ability as well. And so what is life like after steroids? Well, that's what you make of it. Life after steroids is what you decide it to be. If you value your self-worth based on how much muscles you have, then when you go off steroids, it's gonna suck. Your life is gonna be shitty. And so you can have just as much fun or more and have a better life without PDs as you once did while abusing PDs. It's all about what you decide is important to you. Don't let other people dictate how you value yourself. If you think that having the biggest muscles in this world and having 5% body fat is the only way to live life, the only way you can be happy, well, you're gonna live a sad life. There's more to this life than having massive muscles and single-digit body fat. Find something else that makes you happy, be healthy, and live a long, healthy, and productive life. If you want to hire Jonni for coaching, go to JonniShreve.com. He's coaching people all the time. He also has training books looking to train like Jonni. He's going to tell it like it is. He's not lying. He's not going to BS you. He's going to tell it like it is, give you the honest truth. He still coaches people take PDs, but safely. If you want to get my coaching plans, you can, of course, hire me as well. Also, if you're looking for supplements, you can get terkesterone, creatine, Seco bars, protein powder. You can get all that good stuff at my website. Click the link in the description. Go to JonniShreve.com. Check him out on YouTube and Instagram. He's focusing primarily on how to train effectively, get the physique you want. And don't forget the Circle Diet book, the cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team. Subscribe, click the bell button, and comment for the algorithm. And until next time, I am out.